Hey, what's up, guys? We're doing our recap video today, and we are closing in on 2 months of the small account challenge. I have to look back at the dates. I think we started November 17th, I think was the first day of the small account challenge, and today is January 12th. So I would presume by the end of the week will be the 15th, and so that'll be basically, by the time Monday rolls around, the 18th. So in terms of trading days, we're looking at this being the last week of the second month. And so I'll probably do a little bit of a recap video in terms of analytics, and see how those statistics look in terms of profit and loss and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of today was a good day again. Yesterday we did pretty well, about $1,000 in profit, and then today it's 1150. I did trade quite a bit. That was one thing I did not like about the way I traded today, is I over traded for sure. It resulted in after commissions and fees, and I'll probably come away with $1,000 again. But like I said, I feel like I definitely over traded. I was early in the day, I was up about $800, and then I gave some profit back, and then I made some profit, and then had a loser here and there, and then made some more, and then there were some opportunities later in the day actually that I was seeing. I finished up, I think, around maybe 2 in the afternoon today. And, one of the tickers that I did trade today was FUBO. And, I traded it a couple of times. It had some news just before the opening bell. So I was trading to the long side. And then, like I said, I finished up around 2 o'clock, and then this thing started to break out, and it really made its best run of the day after it broke out here and just continued into the close and made a couple point moves. So I was watching that run, and I thought about trading it and potentially trying to improve the profits on the day. But again, like yesterday, I was a little bit fatigued, and I didn't want to give back any profits, and things have been going relatively well in terms of consistency. And like I said, I already over traded, so those were all reasons that I felt like I didn't want to just put the pedal to the metal and keep pushing. And so I unfortunately may have missed out on a few things, but that's okay, because we're hitting the goal. I think I'm definitely at a point where I can change my daily goal. We talked about before, around $500, trying to just take it day by day, and green days, and profit as it comes, and just not pushing or gripping the stick too tight. But I think now we can improve my daily goal. I did as well take a little bit of money out of the account, so I took out another $1,350. And now I've taken out everything that I started with. So in terms of the overall equity, in terms of the account details, so you can see here the start of day equity was 9,200, and that's because I took out the 1,350. And then when we add in today's profits, we're looking at 10.3 in equity. And then, like I said, I think it's probably gonna be about $150, we'll say, in fees and commissions for tomorrow. For tomorrow, when we come in, it'll probably be around 10,200. But those are all profits that we're looking at since we started the small account challenge back in the middle of November. So now, like I said, I'm gonna be conscious of managing the risk still, and making sure that we don't have any of those unfortunate circumstances, or if I have a red day, I want to keep it in line with what I just saw on the green side of things, so that I'm not having setbacks. And it's okay to have a red day, but we don't want to get it to a point where it's ruining our long-term profit potential. So I've had a few green days in a row. I don't know specifically how many days it's been. I know last week was all a green week, and we started off this week with a couple green days. So I don't know, I can't remember the week prior with how many green days there were and what that looked like. But so things have been going well in terms of a streak. Um, and sometimes that can also factor into your mindset as well, being that, okay, I've had so many green days in a row, I don't want to break that green streak. And then you might get in a hole of, say you're down $600 on the day or something, and then you're cognizant of that, and you want to, so you take a little more risk or whatever to just try to get back to green. And at this point, now that we've gotten the account to an area of a lot of wiggle room, it probably doesn't make sense to do that. If I'm not seeing things clearly, or the trades aren't going my way, or the market momentum isn't there or whatever, and I'm right on the day because of that, then that probably is a good indicator to say, you know what, today's not working, we'll come back tomorrow. And now we have a little bit of wiggle room to do that because we've had some productive days previously. So like I said, in terms of today, we did trade FUBO. Let's see, some other names that I was looking at. Plug was another one that made a nice move in the afternoon. There's a lot of nice moves in the afternoon, and this one was a little frustrating because I had noticed that this one had been making some afternoon moves recently. So where it kind of pops up in the early morning, and then it consolidates sideways throughout the afternoon, and then late afternoon it ends up breaking out. So I thought it was going to do that here. So you can see this high here, right? 63.33, and then it started to push up higher, broke over 63.37, went to 63.57 above the VWAP, reclaiming the VWAP, closed above the VWAP, and then it just dropped right back down. So I ended up going long for a potential move back to test the high of day, and it didn't break out. So I stopped out and didn't get the profit on that one. But then you see that it consolidated again, but held its higher low here, right? So here's the lows and here's the lows, so it's higher low, and then it starts to push up, and then it breaks over this last remaining pivot, and it might have been something to do with getting back over 64, and then it did that, and it just kind of ran the rest of the day, and it's pushed into the close as well, and lots of volume as well today. And this one has a lot of momentum. It's had some news, it's got a catalyst, the technical breakout on the chart. It's making a really strong move in terms of the overall chart. This is the weekly, so we can see that it's just kind of been pushing and pushing and pushing, and since $5 here, it's now at 70. So clearly this one has a lot of momentum, and it's been on a daily watch. So that was one we were looking at. I tried to trade it a few times. It is a little more sticky of a trader. Doesn't always break out with a lot of momentum. Another one that I traded a few times with BTBT. This is volatile because of Bitcoin. So you can see here, it's been on a trend downward, and it's been, I'll just delete these because it's very confusing. So you can see it's been on a trend downwards, but this is the 20-day EMA here. And so it hit that, it was trending downward pre-market, but it reclaimed its 20 EMA and then really started to push through. A ton of volume came in. This one, I did have it on my watch for a short, actually, because it was so weak. But then when it started pushing back up, I was able to catch it in moving in that direction. And I got some later momentum. I didn't catch this initial move, but I was able to get in as it kept pushing up and make some profit on that there. You can see, it's got some pivots here, and then it pushed up, and we've got this window here, right? We've talked about windows before with 23.25, right? And so this is a high here of 22.50, looks like it got up to. Yeah, so this one would be on watch for me probably tomorrow, see what it does in the pre-market. But if it ends up pushing up over 22.50, I could see it pushing towards that 23.25. And then if it gets above 23.25, I'll be looking for it to close the gap on this window to about 24.50. So we've got room 23.25 to 2450, and that's, you know, but anyways, like I said, it reclaimed the 20 EMA here, so that's usually pretty bullish. That, you know, 20 EMA is a good indicator of, you know, pulls back to and then continues on its move upward. We can see that it has had some strength, but as well, Bitcoin is going to play a role, so we'll see how that is. Bitcoin's been a little more volatile, and if that pulls, then this might pull with it. And I traded, one of my better trades today was LMND. So this one has just really been making new highs each day. And today it pretty much made a similar move. So I was watching this pre-market. It was kind of weak, but then it really pushed up at the open. It had a top here at 182. And then a top here at 182 again, pulled back, dropped down, reclaimed the VWAP after dipping below it. And then I got long here on a bull flag, pretty much a bull flag breakout. You know, on a 1 minute chart, it's probably easier to see. This is the 10 minute actually. So you can see that it pushed up, kind of pulled back a little bit, reclaimed the 9 EMA, and broke out and continued higher. And actually made a new high. So I continued to trade this on the way up. I got in initially there, initially here, right? And then pushed up and came back, and I believe I may have added over the previous high of yesterday, and it kind of topped out here and didn't continue on. So LMND was a good one. I think I had 150 shares, and this one really does get momentum when it starts pushing. So that one was okay. One of the stocks that I'm a little bit annoyed that I missed out on is Dash, because I had this trend line drawn here. I'll delete this. So I had this trend line here. It's an IPO of DoorDash, right? So this was just trending down pretty much just like that. And you can see as it broke this line here, boom, it's just gone through the roof. This is 141 here, and then it reached a high of 202 today. And that's in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Okay, so that's a huge move. And I'm disappointed that I missed that, because I was looking at it as a potential long. It had really held this area here of 138, 140, 140, and it broke out. And so you can even see if I pull this out a little bit further, I have to come sideways there. So you can see from its initial point that it's kind of held that slope downward. It's not perfect, but for the most part, it's and with TC2000, it can kind of, on different time frames, as you zoom in, it can change where the trend line is sitting. So anyways, point is that you can see that it's had this downtrend, and it broke the downtrend, and now it's pushing higher. It has pushed higher, and now it's actually making all-time highs. And this, to me, is pretty bullish, because as long as it holds above here, if it keeps pushing up above 195.50, that closure of the opening candle, then, you know, it's got some room. And I know a lot of people that are essentially saying, you know, oh, like, this is a garbage company, whatever. Doesn't matter. These are technicals, right? The technicals could make this run and with momentum. And, you know, like today, for example, it made a 40-point move, right? So, you know, there was no major news. There was a catalyst that they may be moving to Japan, and that was yesterday, I believe. But this breakout, you can see, occurred before any major news, and it just came off support and just, you know, ran up. You might have some shorts covering, and boom. So I missed that one, unfortunately. I didn't even trade it today. It's been on my watch list, but I missed that. So overall, you know, it was an okay day. I wouldn't say I'm ecstatic with the way I traded, but, you know, I can't be disappointed with the profit. I'll probably do a little bit of studying tonight and come back tomorrow and hopefully continue on the progress. And not really thinking about, the amount of profits that we're making, just trying to stay consistent. Because when you start thinking about money and start thinking about, oh, I'm going to make this much, in dollars, dollar figures. When you start thinking about those things, you can a lot of time get your mind caught up in silly ideologies and taking more risk or taking poor trades. And so that's something that personally I try to stay with, and I definitely recommend other traders stay away from. Is just follow your strategy, follow your rules, follow your discipline, stick to your routine, and trade the setups that work for you. And if there's things that aren't working, it's okay, but you just don't want to let your mind start to control your actions with how you're trading. You want to make sure that your plan is what your mind is focused on, and not vice versa. So like I said, tomorrow we'll get back to it. We'll continue on, and hopefully we can keep the momentum flowing from last week and in the start of this week, and finish off the week strong.